Dating profile of the day is this profile with this lovely lady. Looks like any other profile, and a lot of you guys would swipe right on it almost right away. But this profile is to be avoided, and let me explain why. Now, if you look at the pictures, first of all, she's cute, right? She's all right. She's just turned 30, so she's 30 years old. Love the name, Elise. Now you can see that she travels a lot. A lot of this is from different countries. Now this I had to look up. This is a traditional Korean dress, from what I figured. Sorry, I forget the name, but anyway, so it looks like she's Korean, and she obviously travels. And to me, it's always like, that's kind of expensive. Who's paying the bills? Either she is a career woman who usually doesn't have time for you, that pays for it, or some other dude is or was, right? We can see that she has a dog. That's also, I would say, a pretty big yellow flag, not a red flag, but a yellow flag, because, you know, um, adopting a dog, or a dog or a cat, it should be a together family decision for a couple, right? If a woman decided to adopt a pet already, she made that decision for you if you are her future boyfriend, right? She basically said, I'm not going to fucking wait to find out who this is. And of course, she's avoiding all men who are allergic to dogs or cats, or maybe just not like it, right? Like, for example, I love dogs, but I don't love all dogs. Like, I've dated a girl before leaving America in Houston, Texas. And honestly, the worst part of our short relationship was her fucking dog. The fact it was just so misbehaved. I was embarrassed to be out when she was walking her dog. I didn't like how the dog was all over the place at the apartment and running away. And what was disappointing was that she wasn't really reprimanding the dog or training the dog. And to me, it just gave me just a general idea that she's just doesn't always understands what's proper and what's not proper in public or even in private. And so, yeah, so a lot of guys just don't like this particular dog, even though I love dogs. And of course, then he's like, are you going to be the one? Like, I the reason I don't have a dog is because I don't like picking up poop with my hands after a dog. Like, to me, and waking up, like, I have to be on dog's schedule. What the fuck? No, no. So now you have to be on her dog's schedule a lot of times, right? Especially if you ever move in together. So when a girl adopts a dog ahead of time, she already tells you, "Fuck you! You better be on my schedule and have a third member of the family that you didn't really want, because I already made that decision for you." So that's, more adventures and this stuff is expensive, by the way. This looks great, but to get that shot, right, this is you have to travel somewhere, and you pay a lot of money to get the plane up, and to have somebody, attached to you as you're throwing yourself out of the plane, right? I'm always asking, where's this money coming from, right? And a woman that has money usually is not very dateable. All right, so sorry, let me more travel, more travel. One piece bikini, all right. Okay, so but this is not really, none of these are deal breakers, really. These are just things to look into, right? Now she's in her 30s. Let's scroll into her profile. She's Asian, I'm assuming Korean. Doesn't smoke, drinks sometimes, doesn't do weed, doesn't have kids, but wants them. For those of you guys who want to have kids, that's perfectly fine. Okay, well, has a dog, right? She's looking for new friends, which is usually bullshit. There's no such thing as looking for new friends on a dating app. That's just fucking stupid. So this is a bit of a yellow flag. Make sure she doesn't have like guy friends who are hanging around that she met on dating apps who want to bang her, but she put them in the friend zone, but they're always around, So look out for that. But she's looking for a long-term relationship. So far, so good, right? So far, so good. Not bad. But here it is. If you scroll down to her profile, this is all she has out of all the sections you can fill out here on OkCupid. Uh, she said, my self summary, all good in the hood. That's it. So, what does it mean? A lot of guys don't really understand this, but when a girl puts very little effort into her profile, especially when it's time to sort of talk about yourself, what you have to offer, and especially what you're looking for in a man. When she completely skips that pretty much most important part, most likely this girl is not taking this seriously at all. Whether this particular profile, like she created one night when she was lonely and then she ran out of time and she'll probably never come back to it, or come back to it in a month or whatever, or she is part of a ever growing number of women. There were a couple of studies done recently of women who do not get on dating apps to date. That's right. See, back in the day, silly me assumed, and that was kind of true for a while, that the dating apps were for dating. But now they're not. A lot of women get on, including women who are in relationships and marriages. A lot of women get on dating apps not to date, but to get the attention and validation from men. The most addictive drug of the new era of dating for women: attention and validation. So, this profile, again, was just created to get to that. She is not that she's a trust. You've seen profiles of women who are actually going to date on dating apps, right? Yes, a lot of them are looking for money and a rich guy and a simp and all of that stuff, but at least they've put in some effort and typed in some text into the section and self summary and so forth. But this girl, all good in the hood. That's all she said, right? The hood is to be avoided. This is a typical profile where she'll just suck your attention in. And by the way, these girls, you still can match with them. They'll talk to you, but that will still all be for attention and validation. At the end of the day, girls like this will not be going out on dates with you. And so please, again, this is all dating apps. If you're on dating apps, which I recommend you get the fuck off of them, unless they're niche, right? Unless they're, either kink apps, whatever you're into, or local apps. Like here, I'm on like specifically Thai apps. Don't waste your time with Tinder and Bumble. That is just a waste of time. But if you do get on the alternatives ones, the number one thing that you should, be aware of is not wasting your time and money, or specifically both. This girl, this profile will absolutely waste your time, and that's why you should avoid it. And a lot of guys still end up swiping right on this. So it is a problem. Frank in the chat says single women with pets are red flags. So, I wouldn't say red flags, because essentially you're saying, well, it's a deal breaker, right? And if you see a girl with a dog or a cat in the profile, it's a deal breaker. I would like, see, I criticize women for doing this, all the time, right? They see one tiny little potential problem and they run, instead of saying, well, okay, if it's just one problem, let's see if we can solve it. Maybe there's something behind it, right? So if this girl had a decent profile, right, and all I saw that, oh, she has a dog, and everything else actually checked out, I would still swipe right on it. And I'll tell you why. Because, sometimes women don't adopt animals because, oh, I feel lonely and therefore this is going to be my, backup boyfriend type of a thing, right? Where I don't need no man because I can come home to my best friend and all that bullshit, right? And it's not because they basically said, well, I want a dog and it doesn't really matter what my future husband or boyfriend wants. I'm going to get a dog. And if, like they even have a movie, right? Must Love Dogs, right? It's kind of like, yeah, I'm not dating you unless you are into this one thing that I'm into. Otherwise, fuck off, right? So not all of them do it for those reasons. I know women who have rescued dogs who, for essentially like one of their, parents or sister dies or something happens and the dog has no home, and instead of putting it up for a pound, that they know that because she got to know this was a family dog, she would adopt the dog and take her in. The same thing with a cat, right? Sometimes, for example, a girl volunteers for a cat shelter or dog shelter, and there's an animal that essentially needs a surgery or whatever, and otherwise the dog dies or a cat dies, and she puts the money and gets attached to an animal, and because of the good deed essentially adopts the cat, right? So not all of this is bad, right? You kind of want to get in, and then of course, how does she handle it, right? You say, listen, first of all, let's see if you like the dog. You might like the fucking dog or a cat, and then there's not much of a problem. But then you kind of, like, for example, in my case, if I would have loved like the dog that I'm a girl who I'm dating, I'll be like, listen, it's all good, but I'm not picking up this dog's poop. Do not ask me to walk this dog. Do not ask me to do any tasks that you've already committed to doing it. I mean, like, fine. If you're sick in bed and you can't get up, of course I'll help out and walk the dog. But you know, better hire somebody, like better handle it the way you would handle it if you were single, right? But because like for me, picking up poop from a dog is just a absolutely fucking no. I just picking up poop with my hands is just not in my schedule. That's just me. Some people go like, nah, no problem, right? So that's a good question.
If you want to ditch modern women and move abroad for more traditional relationships, go to themillionmanproject.com, take my most comprehensive course, and change your life.